My name is Warren Belkin. I'm the director of the Southwest area for ARISTA. For those who haven't heard of us, we are a data center networking company. We focus purely on data center Ethernet. We hold #2 market. I will also say a lot of folks are dealing with the cloud phenomenon. And we deal with some of the biggest cloud providers in the world. That's where our technology actually was initially used. So 7 of the 8 biggest clouds in the world are based on ARISTA, and 8 of the 10 biggest investment banks in the world have significant ARISTA deployments. What a lot of enterprise customers are facing is how to move internally to the same cost and economic model as the cloud. So storage, this is based on a very large customer of ours actually in New York. To build storage internally was costing them about $6 per gigabyte. That's the loaded cost for them, including OpEx cost. And that's because they had a lot of disparate storage. They had fiber channel, they had Ethernet, they had a lot of different tiers. And they were faced with looking outside in the cloud. You go to Amazon or something like that, and a 3-year cost of storage is under $1 a gigabyte. In fact, facing down to about 50 cents. And by looking at IP storage technologies, and in fact they use DMC technology, and by using some of our networking technology to make that perform, they were able to build internally a cloud that drove cost of under $1 per gigabyte. And so the things that these companies and everyone's trying to achieve is have this high performance, high utilization, elasticity, but hit these cost metrics that are in the cloud so you're not forced to drive everything out into the cloud. But with storage in particular, you face problems with congestion, and this is just a fact of life. Storage, by definition, is an in-cast technology. You have many clients hitting a smaller number of storage arrays. And you may have, depending how data is sliced and diced in those storage arrays, you may have data being delivered back to those clients from multiple storage connections. And this causes a congestion point in the network, and if the network can't handle that congestion, it starts dropping packets on the floor. For anyone who knows networking, TCP networking, dropping packets is not good. When you drop packets, the TCP window collapses, which is a mechanism for flow control inherent in TCP, and performance goes completely through the floor. So this is the thing you want to really avoid. We just published a paper. We'd be happy to share it with you about big buffers and big data. And this was a particularly good paper because we had a customer who was named in the paper actually published some real benchmarking on their applications. And these are applications, not network flows. And they had an environment with small buffer legacy switch. It's actually a Hadoop environment. And the only thing they changed was to put in big buffer switches at top of rack. That's the only difference they did. And they saw a 6 times performance improvement in their applications. So this is the impact of having big buffers in the network and avoiding these packet loss and retransmission. From a little bit more technical data, I'm not going to go through all these graphs, but the bottom line is the middle there. With big buffer, you end up with a 50 times improvement of flow completion times under a heavy load, and 100 times improvement in query completion times under a heavy load. These things become prevalent when you're actually using it and starting to drive capacity. If you're 10–20% utilized, it's not going to matter as much. But as soon as you get over 50% utilization in the network, this stuff is critical. ARISTA has a wide variety of switches. We have everything from 1 gig to 100 gig. In fact, we're known for innovation. We brought 100 gig down to about 1/10 of the normal price point. But I'm going to talk about one in particular today, which is an exciting one that we released about 4 or 5 months ago called the 7280. We've always had a big buffer switch in the 1 to 10 gig scenario, which we use a lot in media and entertainment. Use it, it's Avid certified, Harmonic certified. But we brought out the same technology in the 10, 40, and 100 gig range. This was the industry's first 1U switch that had 100 gig capability in it. It has a bunch of 10 gig and either 40 or 100 gig uplinks. But the key thing here is this 9 gigabytes of packet memory. There's nothing like that in the industry, has not been anything like that in the industry. So you compare this to a traditional legacy switch, a Trident switch, which is the common chipset on the market that the switch is built on. These are what you find from many vendors, has 9 megabytes of buffer memory in the switch. ARISTA 7280 has 9 gigabytes, 1,000 times the amount of buffer. So this is a very focused product, a very focused switch in the storage area and big data. It's used widely and very relevant in media and entertainment. We have some local customers here in the Los Angeles area that have implemented this and see significant differences in performance with it. Great. Well, thank you so much. I hope everyone's enjoyed the presentations, and we'll look forward to having some fun with you outside.